Watching the Highlight Zone with WANE 15 Sports Director Glenn Marini. Local sports coverage you can count on.
It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's Friday night. We on the Highlight Zone.
Just getting to play another football with my guys, you know what I'm saying? Every night is banging.
I'm most excited to see these stands full of people. Especially playing against this team, you know, we need to be going at our best.
They're a big physical team, and we just got to be ready to show up and punch them in the mouth.
I'm excited to be out here under the lights on Friday night in Kendallville. You know, there's nothing like it.
Be able to go in as an opposing team against a good team in a hostile environment, that's going to be fun.
It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone.
Yeah, it is only week 2, but oftentimes week 2 is the perfect time for a tune-up. Most teams playing their second and final non-conference game with conference games kicking off next week. And I'll tell you what, the place to be tonight was Kendallville. We got 20 games to get to, and we're going to start with that SAC versus NEH showdown. Josh A. joining us now with your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Josh.
All right, Glenn, let's rewind all the way back to the year 2000. East Noble doing what just about every team on the Highlight Zone wants to do, right? That's winning a state title. Well, the Knights coming really close last year as they were the 4A state runner-up. Now, 2 years ago, Snyder winning a 5A state title. Now in 6A, the Panthers are on the prowl for a return trip to Lucas Oil Stadium. Snyder at East Noble. It is your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Now, East Noble celebrating the 25th anniversary of that state title team. Snyder, meanwhile, trying to bounce back after a tough loss to Warsaw last week. But how about East Noble marching with ease in the early going? This is Ian Ramey capping off the Knights' first drive with a quick touchdown run. Ramey, though, saw his night cut short due to an injury. However, David Gator and the rest of the East Noble community pretty happy as they're up 7-0 after one. Second quarter, this is Alex Scott, courtesy of Riley Biddle, and Scott, a two-way threat. He can get it done on offense and defense, folks. 13-0 is your score, East Noble leading, and the Knights fans ballin' in paradise. However, Snyder able to answer back on the ensuing drive as that is Jaywin Harris hooking up with Jordan Davis. That 18-yard touchdown making it a 13-7 East Noble lead at halftime. But man, East Noble really putting the pedal to the metal. And folks, you better buy stock in this kid now. This is Austin Phillips. He's just a freshman, folks. Already got a lot of power conference interest. That 31-yard touchdown making it a 19-7 lead. Johnson Kai Ayan is pretty happy after that score. However, we talk about East Noble's offense. The defense certainly stingy all night long. Alex Scott, he can get it done on both sides, folks, as that interception essentially icing this game. Now, this game does get cut short, unfortunately, due to a medical emergency on Snyder's sideline. Still, East Noble comes away with a 29-7 win.
I told my boys I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else, and that's exactly what we did. Right from that first snap, we were on their throats, and we kept going till the end of the game, and we were prepared for it coming into this.
We had a good game plan coming into it. Monday, film day. Watch a lot of film on these guys. They like to run the ball. Our coaches definitely helped that. Shout out Aldi, shout out Yates. Great game plan.
We've got 7 games coming up in conference that are tough games, and having good competition in weeks 1 and 2 definitely strengthens us for those games.
Snyder's going to open conference play next week at Lourdes. East Noble will kick off the NE8 slate at home against Huntington North. Glenn, it's all you.
All right, speaking of Huntington North, the Vikings beat Northrup in week 2 last year and went on to a record-setting season. Would it be repeat or redemption for the Bruins at Spooler Stadium? Well, opening at kickoff, you can bet Alex Stewart and the guys are going to be scouting this. This is Huntington North's Christian Jemison. Gem of the Night nominee, perhaps, as he gets a touchdown, and right off the bat, the Vikings led 7-0. Mike Eschbach's like, yeah, that's exactly how we drew it up. He didn't draw it up defensively like that, but it's hard to stop Jerquaden Guilford, the Ohio State Buckeye commit. With the touchdown from David Callison, it's a 7-6 ball game there. Later in the first, you're going to see Lathan James to Jimmy Linker. Huntington North led at the half, but Northrup comes back to win this one 31-23 at Spooler. Let's go to Chambers Field. The Legends will play at Northrup next Friday. My man Jalen Smith back in town, coaching on the sidelines for the Legends as they took on New Haven. I'll tell you what, he wouldn't have drawn up this. First possession for New Haven, DJ Simpson with the touchdown. Simpson says, no! And the Bulldogs up 7-0. Northside trying to drum up some offense. 4th and 14 on the 45. They go for it. Turns out to be a heck of a good call because Jarmeek Harrison weaves his way into the end zone. 7-6 after a missed PAT. Now, speaking of special teams, how about this? Brian Villegas from New Haven, 49-yard field goal like it was nothing. New Haven led 10-6, but guess what? Jarmeek the Freak is doing it. 63 yards, another screen as he pops free. 63 yards to the house. He had over 100 receiving yards in the first quarter as Northside wins 39-23. Bishop Dwenger hosting St. Francis de Sales. They're out of the Toledo area over in Ohio. Second quarter, de Sales QB KJ Collins Walker looking to Jaden Houston, and de Sales takes the lead 9-3. But after halftime, third quarter, Dwenger would recover the fumble here. Casey Piper, my man Pipes, coming up big. And guess what? They're in great territory, and they would capitalize. Henry Jordan to Beckham Russell. Beckham Russell had himself a game. Dwenger takes the lead here, and they don't look back. 31-15. The Saints are marching to a win. After facing HSC on the road last week, another big challenge for Carroll. The Chargers hosting 6A number 2 Center Grove. This one was back and forth, especially early on. It was 7-zip Center Grove, but Jaden Van Pelt from Gabe Freisinger, and he's into the end zone. Keep in mind, Van Pelt didn't play last week, so yeah, he had his legs under him. 7-all. Center Grove's Nolan Reese. And I love some power football due to the Trojans. It's a touchdown to go up 14-7, but after a Trojan loss on downs, Carroll makes some pay. Freisinger to who else but Mr. Van Pelt in the second quarter. That knocks it at 14, but Center Grove eventually does go on to win 35-24. Southside put up 42 points in their opener at Marion last week. The Archers back home to face South Bend St. Joe's. And South Bend St. Joe's, they like to run the football. This is James Granetti with a first down. A nice run by the Huskies, but they wouldn't score on the drive. Good for the Southside defense. Here comes Southside. This is Christopher Moon, and we got a bad Moon rising. Watch Moon streak down the sideline. A big gain. He's pushed out at the 5, but Southside would fumble on the next play to give it away. And guess what? South Bend St. Joe's can run it, as I mentioned. That's Sam Shikatano with a touchdown, 26-0, the final at Jack Weicker Stadium. Zollner Stadium, Concordia with its home opener. 15th year for head coach Tim Manigal as the Cadets hosting Eastbrook. Pick it up in the second quarter. It's Miles Brown. Man, you know what Eastbrook likes to do? That's run the football. He gets the touchdown, and the Panthers up by a score of 20-7. Later, it's more from Eastbrook in that rushing attack. Bodie Howell. Whew. That's a nice move right there to find Paydirt as the QB keeper gives Eastbrook a 27-7 lead. Last play of the first half. It looks like Concordia is going to punch it in, right? No dice. Ryder Gibson picks it off at the goal line and goes 100 yards. That is how you put a stamp on a first half if you're Eastbrook, as Eastbrook wins 41-14 at Zollner. Wayne looking for its first win in the Darian White era as the Generals on the road at South Bend Riley. Second quarter action, it's Nick Washington to Tyrese Jones right in your living room. That's a 15-yard touchdown, and the Wildcats of South Bend Riley up 26-6 at that point. They weren't done. You're going to see a nice pickup right here by Zayar Taminga. 24-yard gain, and Wayne falls on the road 33-6 in South Bend. Well, after opening at Westfield, Homestead on the road again, this time at Noblesville. Man, they're not taking it easy. Senior quarterback Michael White out with an injury. But how about Logan Frieden? 30 yards to Carter Kennedy. It's 6-zip Homestead. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. Homestead down 10-6, and it's Frieden again to Kennedy. Again, what a beautiful catch for a touchdown. And the Spartans go down and beat the Millers 13-10 in Noblesville. Great win for Chad Zolman and company. Hey, we're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout, but when we come back, Warsaw had one of the most impressive wins in Week 1, going on the road to beat Snyder at Spooler Stadium. Could the Tigers keep it up against an Indy area powerhouse in Ward Central tonight at Fisher Field? We're about to find out. Plus, the 2A state champs hitting the road for the first time this season is Adams Central up at Eastside to battle the Blazers. We're also going to head to Bluffton, Columbia City, South Adams, and a whole bunch more. We got 11 more local games to get to right here on the Highlight Zone.
We are the Eastside Blazers.
Stay tuned for the Highlight Zone.
Yeah! Let's go!
In Kendallville at 7
o'clock, the Knights put on their helmets and they go to war. In Kendallville, we don't back down. In Kendallville, we play 4 quarters of punch you in the mouth football. Fort Wayne Spider, welcome to Kendallville.
Goosebumps, man. I love that stuff. That was East Noble coach Alex Stewart, and that was just a small sample of what you're going to see Wednesday at 6 in next week's Highlight Zone 2 Minute Drill segment. As for last week, Adams Central opening the season with a hard-fought 7-0 win over Garrett at the landing strip. Jets taking the show on the road this week up to Eastside as the Blazers with a 32-point win over Woodland in the season opener. And Adams Central's defense showing why they are the reigning state champs. Xander Schwartz, may the Schwartz be with you. He gets the interception, and, well, you can't let the Jets have that kind of field position, especially early in the game, because guys like Jamison Roach are going to take advantage. The junior quarterback with the keeper as he is into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Jets led 7-0 after 1. Second quarter, though, here come the Blazers. Job Richmond, man, he is showing out. He gets the touchdown right there, but Adams Central does go to Butler and win this one 32-21. Adams County bragging rights on the line down in Bern as South Adams hosting their neighbor to the north, the Bellmont Braves. We picked this one up, already 6-0. South Adams leading in the first. Titus Lehman to West Somerset, and Somerset with the touchdown over the top. And South Adams took control early. They scored early. They scored often later in the first. You saw the passing game. How about the running game? This is Will Patterson bouncing to the outside. Ooh, sweet little move right there to get in. South Adams, no problem with Bellmont. Starfires win 53-0. Bluffton ninth in the 2A state poll this week. The Tigers at home against Manchester. You saw the Blackhawk helicopter landing, and you know what? The offense landing as well. Axton Best to Cooper Craig. That is a good combination. ACAC opponents would disagree, but 7-0. Tigers in the lead. Second quarter, Best intercepted Cody Carroll, saving a touchdown right there on the goal line. Pretty good defense, but Bluffton up 10-0 at that point. And later in the second, Best says, you know what, I'm going to put my best foot forward. He decides to run this baby in as the Tigers take care of Manchester 45-6, your final at Park Field. Good matchup at Lions Field. Both Angola and Leo coming off 1-score wins in week 1. Opening drive, you gotta feed the monster. We're talking Nathan Foster. Over 1,300 yards last year. He would add 145 yards to his career total in this one, including this touchdown. And right out the gate, the Lions up 7-0. Angola trying to answer back. Brady Ravis to Dallas Davidson for the score, and that makes it a 7-6 ball game. But Leo's Titus Stoller taking over at quarterback this season. He was pretty comfortable. How about Luke Tackwell? Doesn't hurt when you can make catches like that. Tackwell with a one-handed catch. Stoller was 14-19 for $166 and 2 TDs, including this one, the Foster Swanee. And Leo takes care of Angola 21-6, your final. New coach Chris Albertine and Garrett with its home opener. The Railroaders hosting county rival DeKalb. Started the third, Railroaders led 7-0, but Brady Color says, color my world. It's a touchdown right there, and the Barons knot this game at 7 apiece. Later, keep your eye on the football. Xavier Bell does it, and he does it well. Eli McCormick looking for Bell, and he rings this one in with a touchdown. 14-7, Barons in the lead. And they take control to win this one 28-7 over Garrett. Columbia City, an impressive road win last week up in Northrup. The Eagles at home in week 2 against Plymouth. Just under 5 minutes to go in the first. It's Gavin Smith. We're used to seeing this guy do it on the defensive side of the football, but as a senior, kind of taking over some of that offensive role. He gets a touchdown from 9 yards out, and Columbia City's on the board 7-0. Later in the first, Gabe McDevitt finds Lucas Duncan, and Duncan weaving his way in for the touchdown. 20 yards on the score, and Columbia City up 14-0. Then, right before halftime, it's McDevitt to Braden Elkins. You're going to see this play again later in the show. Beautiful catch for a touchdown. 28-0 Columbia City, as the Eagles would go on to win 35-13. Defending NECC Small Division champion Churubusco up in the swamp to take on quarterback Braden Holbrook and the Lakeland Lakers. And speaking of Mr. Holbrook, he finds his favorite receiver, Kian Arroyo, for the touchdown. And we are knotted at 6 in the early going. Then, you're going to see Churubusco. What do? Man, Paul Sade loves to run the football, and Carson Tonko had that big rushing touchdown last week. That one a little shorter, hey, but it's still worth 6. 12-7, Busco in the lead. Then a little Busco defense here. Bryce Lawrence with the interception. However, the Lakers would get another touchdown in this game to win 14-12 in a hard-fought one against Busco. Out in Monroeville, the Heritage Patriots hosting the Delta Eagles out of glorious Muncie, Indiana. We pick it up in the third quarter. Heritage up 7-zip. Delta swinging it. Ryan Lynch to Carter Jackson. He goes down the sideline. Jackson goes 90 yards for the touchdown. And this ball game is tied at 7-all. Fourth quarter, though, you're going to see Lucas Weber with some nice moves. He would hit pay dirt. Now, okay, the bad news here is this would be called back for a penalty. The good news is Heritage does go on to win in overtime, 13-7 over the Delta Eagles. You've probably been waiting to see this one. We're talking about 5A number 6 Warsaw hosting perennial powerhouse Warren Central. First quarter at Fisher Field, Warren Central's Keon Thomas with a rushing touchdown, and that stakes the Warriors to an early 7-zip lead. We're still in the first quarter. Bart Curtis, that wishbone offense, they love to run it. Dalen Fitzpatrick with a first down. It's a 19-yard pickup, but Warsaw would fail to score on that drive. And in the second quarter, Warren Central trying to push their advantage. It's Thomas again with the touchdown as Warren Central doubles up the Warsaw Tigers 28-14, your final at Fisher Field. Moving on, the marshmallow capital of the world is Ligonier, Indiana, as West Noble looking for a sweet night against Wawasee. And a sweet start for the Chargers. Brogan Parks with a 10-yard touchdown, and it's 7-zip West Noble right out the gate. Second quarter action. Still 7-zip until this. Wawasee's Mark Haynes keeping it, and it's a good decision. He's in the end zone to tie it at 7. But later in the second, Trey Schischler. I called Monty Mayhorter. He told me that's how you pronounce it. He finds Braden Limerick for a touchdown as West Noble wins 35-19 over Wawasee. Final stop of the night, we got Fairfield at John Glenn. Fans flocking to see this one. Both teams nicknamed the Falcons. We pick it up late in the first. Kaylor Moust with the touchdown, and that knots it at 7-all as Fairfield gets on the board there. More from the Fairfield Falcons. Warren Kaufman into the end zone, and Fairfield takes care of business 38-20 at John Glenn. Stay tuned. Your Highlight Zone's Gem of the Night is coming up next.
We're the Northside Legends, home of the red and white. Welcome back to the Highlight Zone.
Here's your Gem of the Night.
Here at Peter Franklin Jewelers, we are proud to support local high school athletics. That's why we continue to sponsor the Highlight Zone on WANE TV.
Congratulations to this week's winner of the Gem of the Night, presented by Peter Franklin Jewelers.
Hey, you heard it. All new this fall, the good folks at Peter Franklin Jewelers giving out t-shirts to your Gem of the Night winners each week. And this one is going to be in the mail to Columbia City. Check it out. Gabe McDivitt to Braden Elkins. He gets it with one hand, gets his feet in, gets pushed out. It's a touchdown. Here's what makes this play so amazing. Columbia City completed exactly 0 passes last week up at Northwood. They ran for over 300 yards, went 0 for 2 passing. When they throw it, apparently all they do is get Gem of the Nights. Beautiful pitch and catch from Brett Fox and company. Gabe McDevitt to Braden Elkins. That is this week's Peter Franklin Jewelers Gem of the Night. As for next week, these are some of the games we are going to be featuring here on the Highlight Zone. We got Northside at Northrup. That is going to be your Highlight Zone game of the week as the Legends come in 2-0. Northrup comes in 2-0. So 4-0 combined with offenses that can score with anybody. It's going to be a good one at Spooler Stadium between the Legends and the Bruins. Meanwhile, Snyder tries to get that first win of the season. They'll take on Bishop Luers. 3rd week in a row, Snyder's playing a team that advanced to the state championship game last year. Huntington North, they travel to East Noble in a good NE8 tilt as conference play kicks off. South Adams is at Bluffton, and Churubusco travels to Garrett in an old-fashioned rivalry game at Memorial Field. Of course, we'll have coverage of all those games and much more next Friday night right here on the Highlight Zone, Fort Wayne's #1 sports show. For Josh, I'm Glenn, and we'll see you next Friday night.